Welcome to the pot. I'm DS Elias. This is where culture meets the kitchen. Whether we're talking food psychology, spirit of society, we always bring it back to what feeds us literally and culturally. So grab a plate, pull up a chair, and let's stir the pot. Hello, everyone. Tell me, where are you watching from? Did you have dinner? Are you gonna eat dinner? What are you guys up to tonight? Tonight, we're doing, I already cooked it already. So I did a barbecue. I did my own barbecue rub. And so we did barbecue chicken with the rub. We're doing the baked beans. I did my own sourdough bread today. So yum, yum, yum. I'm so excited I can smell the sourdough bread. There's nothing like the smell of fresh bread, huh? Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what you're having for dinner. I'm DS Elias. I'm a professional chef and now a professional foodie. This is the Food Plane YouTube channel. You're watching The Pot. We're here every Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live. And I've embarked on a journey. I am traveling America looking for America's best food destinations. And we've already put out 3 episodes. Episode 4 will be out next Saturday at 11 a.m. Our channel is full of fun food facts, delicious recipes. I specialize in international cuisine. I've always been fascinated with food and different cultures, food from different parts of the world. So here on the Food Plane, we are full of fun food facts and recipes from around the world. So, for example, cultural foods, I show you how to make beef patties, teriyaki, Ethiopian dorowat. Places, even America has its own. We did what do they call beignets? I showed you how to make beignets. Anything cultural and foods from around the world. We've done Indian pakoras. We've done curry chicken. We've done so many. There are so many videos we have out now for foods from around the world. So if that interests you, give that a check. Oh, by the way, if you have not checked out episode 2, we visited Frank Pepe's, which is considered one of the best pizzas in America. So we visited them. That was episode 2. We recently visited the Prince Tea House for a royal afternoon tea experience. So if you have not watched those, please give those a watch. By the way, here is a little appetizer, a little amuse bouche, an hors d'oeuvre, if you will, something just to wet the palate. That's it. It's just a little tasty taste. So yeah, those videos are all available to watch now. Again, next Saturday, we are visiting an entirely different state in America. And this one I'm particularly excited about. I think this one may be our best one yet. Episode 4 next Saturday, 11 a.m. Just to give you a little hint, this one is very near and dear to my heart. So for those of you who know, you know. All right, one more thing is we do giveaways once a month up to $100. We've already given away $200 in the past 30 days to 2 different people. So at any time during the month in one of those shows, I don't tell you when, on any of those shows at any given time on the show, we will be doing a giveaway. So when I do the trivia that's connected to the giveaway, you will know that it's connected to the giveaway. We always do a weekly trivia here on the show. Speaking of, let's do today's trivia. All right, today's trivia. Which ancient civilization was the first to cultivate chocolate? Which ancient civilization was first to cultivate chocolate? If you know the answer, let me know in the comments. Okay. Also, if you're going to be part of the giveaway, you have to be a subscriber. So only subscribers can win. So press that subscribe button. Become a passenger of the food plane. We are traveling the world. This is a place, a hub for foodies just like you, where we can interact with each other and talk all things food and culture. I'm so excited. Let's see who is in the house today of Salt and Silence. Hello. It's good to see you. Hi, passengers of the food plane. Excited for tonight's show. So am I. Yeah. Hi, Nina. Thank you for joining us. Is there a Nina in the house? Yes. Hello, Nina. Good evening from New York. I am from New York. I am from Manhattan. What part of New York, if you're okay sharing that? I'm so glad you're here. It's going to be a great show. I'm so excited. All right. Nice to see you guys. Look who's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. It is none other than G.R. Houston. Jack is in the house. She says, good evening. She is editing and listening at the same time. I hear you. Good evening of Salt and Silence. She says, hi, G. A lot of the love, a lot of the love. Hey, Nina. Grew up in the Bronx. Yeah. I lived in the Bronx for a very short period of time, but I'll never forget it. It was during my childhood. I had a lot of good childhood memories. Growing up in the Bronx, I remember playing with my little Voltron toys. Specifically, I remember being in the Bronx when I got my little Voltron toys. Oh man, those were some good times, huh? So I'll let you know the trivia answer in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, here's a little bit of hospitality news. The upcoming Anthony Bourdain movie, Tony, continues to make news, including plans by A24 for free advanced screenings, specifically for hospitality and food service workers. Antonio Banderas stars as one of Tony's mentors. Wow. How many of you remember Anthony Bourdain? What a storyteller. No reservations. Oh my gosh. I'm glad they're doing this. This is going to be a story based on his beginning when he really blew up and how that all started. His book, Kitchen Confidential. Woo! Wow. For anybody in the industry, especially, that book is a must. It gives you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the business. So I'm really excited about the movie. So that's pretty cool. All right. Penn State 2026 food trend research identifies regional Indian cuisine as one of the year's most important food trends, alongside continued interest in Korean cuisine and for fermented foods. Wow. So that excites me to see that more and more people are becoming more interested in foods from around the world. Indian cuisine is one of my top 3 favorites. Asian cuisine is one of my top 3 favorites. The other one is Middle Eastern. Those are my top 3 favorite foods. And since I specialize in international cuisine, and that's what this channel is all about, food and culture from around the world, I am excited to hear about this Penn State research that they did. And that's what they found. And I am super excited about that's happening. All right. So how many of you, and I'm sure you've heard about this. Yes, you guys know him, right? So he was on Instagram when I started on Instagram. He was one of the people that kept coming up. I've never met him, never seen him before, but he kept coming up and I was like, this dude is funny. I like his stuff. Damon Darlin, Meemaw. Anyway, he's hilarious. He's really funny. Walmart just recently completely banned him. He's not allowed in any Walmart. However, I am really impressed with how he has handled the entire situation. He has handled it with class, and I really like that. I saw his interview on TMZ. It looks like before he was doing the kind of videos he's doing now. He was starting out with doing prank videos in Walmart. And according to Walmart, they felt like he was disrupting the operational flow of the place. He was just a distraction to customers. And he had said that, yes, he did drop some stuff and whatever. He apologized. And right now, I saw him. He put out a new video and he said that he would love to work with Walmart. What do you guys think? Tell me about the whole thing. So yes, he changed up on everything, and they still, I don't know. I think, come on, Walmart. I think there's some work that could be done here. You guys can collaborate. He's not going to do any. He's not doing any of the prank videos where he's knocking stuff over and stuff like that. He hasn't done that in a long time. So yeah, for me, my opinion, I love this guy. He's doing a good deed. Give him a chance. Work something out. There could be some branding, some collaboration here. Come on now. Anyway, let me see what you guys have to say about that. Let's see. GR Houston. Jack says, my father loved Anthony. Of course, I did too. Yeah. He was the OG of food and travel. He was one of them, but he was groundbreaking in his storytelling. Nobody did it like him. No one did it like him. Lisa Piatti said 974 says hi. Welcome to the pot. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Let's see. We got Nina saying R.I.P. Anthony Bourdain. Yeah, I hear you. Yes, very interesting point of Salt and Silence. Target should take advantage and do a collaboration. Yeah. Capitalize, baby. All right, GR Houston Jack says they pick a fine time to ban Damon now. It's a whack reason. I hear you, G. Agree, G. He's done so much for so many people. Yeah. Damon needs to find another way, maybe hanging out on the corner and passing money. I don't know if that'll be as entertaining. I guess I would love to hear what Jack Vale has to say about the situation. He's a pioneer. We have him on the show today. We're going to get him on in just a few seconds. The trivia answer. Let's give you the trivia answer. All right. Let's see. Oh, wait. Did you guys hear about this? Look at this. So we in Florida, they are putting out air taxis. This is real. Air taxis. This is starting in Florida. Look at this. Imagine this is just like the Jetsons. It reminds me of the Jetsons, but it's actually happening. And it's going to be they're going to roll out the whole thing in Florida and I guess see what happens from there. But can you imagine 5 to 10 years from now, people flying in the air for taxis? Wow, that is absolutely nuts. That's absolutely nuts. All right, today's trivia answer is the ancient Maya civilization. The ancient Mayas were among the earliest known people to cultivate cacao, specifically for chocolate production. And there are some cool details in this image that you guys can watch back in the replay, pause it, and these are some cool, interesting facts. All right. I got so much to talk about. I am so excited. Oh, here we go. All right, hold on. Let's see. We got some more chats. GR Houston Jack says, I missed the question. The question was, which ancient civilization? What was the question actually in detail? Hold on. You're throwing me off, G. You threw me off there. Hold on. Because it was a fun question. All right. There it is. Which ancient civilization was the first to cultivate chocolate? Yeah. And here's the answer. Salt and Silence says chocolate with chili is really chocolate. That's Cincinnati version of chili. They put chocolate in it. Wow. You like that? All right. Let's see. We have Jessica from Brazil in the house. Wow. Isn't the national dish feijoada? Did I say that right? Feijoada. Brazil is in the house. Awesome. I am so excited. Okay. All right. Let me get this off the screen. And we are about to welcome our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, let me have some water. Cheers. Comedian, prank video pioneer, YouTube sensation behind the Pooter, co-writer and producer of the upcoming movie Carman. I am super excited, ladies and gentlemen. It means so much to me that he is here. Ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to stir the pot with DS, Jack Vale. There he is. Jack Vale is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Jack, how are you doing?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for being willing and available to be here. It means a lot to me, Jack. We really appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to, it's always fun to have a conversation like we're going to have.
Oh, awesome. Jack, where are you from?
So we're in Florida right now.
Okay.
We've been primarily in Tennessee, in the Nashville area for the past 8 years. And before that, we're actually originally from Huntington Beach, California. So we've bounced around a little. And right now we're in Florida. So,
okay. So Tennessee, were you born in Tennessee?
Nope. California.
California. Wow.
Yeah.
So how'd you end up from Tennessee? That's a whole different culture.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. So born and raised in California, we moved to Tennessee just for a change of pace. And, you weren't crazy about some of the direction that was happening in California at the time. So we went to Tennessee for a switch. It was great. It was just super hard to get used to the weather if you're not used to it. And
got it.
But then you got people that you move there and you find out that so many people moved to Tennessee from all these other places and pockets of the United States. And we were, sometimes the minority in feeling like, I don't know about this weather, it's raining a little too much and whatever. And then some people were like, I'm from Maine, or I'll tell you about weather, if Tennessee's nothing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. We ended up in Florida. We've only been here now for almost 3 months.
Wow.
We visited a lot.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've been here consistently for several months. And it gets pretty muggy out.
Yeah, it's very humid there. You got that tropical-ish weather. Wow. That's so cool.
Where are you at? Where are you at?
I'm from New York. I'm from Manhattan.
Okay, that's where you're at now?
No, the studio is in New England.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I'll let you know. I can let you know some other time specifically where we're.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But we're in the New England. We're not too far from Manhattan.
Give me your address. Give me your address. Come on.
Yeah, I'll give you my social. The whole works. Anyway, listen, Jack. So tell me about Tennessee and the food there before we go on.
May as well.
Yeah.
So we went there when we first got there. Everybody talked about when you get there, you got to try this barbecue. It's all about the barbecue and everything.
Right.
And then I was getting my hair cut one time, this barber, and she was like, everybody talks about the barbecue in Tennessee, but actually you really got to go to like Memphis and there's other places,
Ooh.
We were in Williamson County is where we moved to. So Franklin specifically. And it was good. Don't get me wrong. We quickly developed like our favorite places. I'll drop a few. So the hot chicken is what they're known for, right? The Nashville hot chicken. And I took a liking to that immediately. We everybody loves going to Hattie B's. Have you been there?
No.
Okay, Hattie B's is kind of a well-known place. Hattie B's is one of these, it's delicious. The fries are good. Everything's consistent. Every time you get it, you bite into the chicken and it's like crispy on the outside. You get mild, medium, or hot, and they got these different levels. I would always get medium because it's just enough to start a little flame going in your mouth, but you can still taste it and you want to keep eating it. So that was good for me. And then there's this other place for hot chicken called Prince's. I think there was some kind of like little battle going on or something between Prince's and it's like a hot chicken battle. Prince's and Hattie B's. I don't know who won.
When you say fried chicken, hot chicken, what do you mean? Fried chicken?
It's basically fried. Yeah, it's deep fried, but it's you've heard Nashville hot chicken, right?
Okay. So
Like
it has a
sometimes you
little
can even
it has a
oh,
little heat.
yes, yes, yeah.
Oh,
So everybody tells you when you visit Tennessee, you got to try the Nashville hot chicken. Everybody
wow.
talks about it. So
So
much so to where like we went back to Huntington Beach, California, not very long ago, and there's a Nashville hot chicken right downtown on Main Street and Huntington Beach.
mhm.
So it's a big deal, and I started to crave that a lot. But yeah, the barbecue is good, and but yeah, we definitely had our favorite places.
Yeah. When's the last time you were in Tennessee?
We go back often.
Oh, good, good.
We know a lot of people there. We've got a lot of contacts there. But it's funny. Since you're a food guy, it's you go back to your favorite places even after you settle in someplace else and you realize I don't know, man. It's like that's what we want to do. The first
Yeah,
thing we got to do is how many places can we hit up?
right.
Um, In and Out has
Oh,
never been in Tennessee before, and we crave a good In and Out burger once in a while, especially when we go out
yeah,
to the West
yeah.
Coast and stuff. And so, but we've never had it in Tennessee. It's one of the great joys that
Wow,
we missed out on for 8 years, unless we missed
wow.
California. Well, now In and Out started out in Tennessee. So, it's only been open now for like a matter of like months, literally months. So we got to do that this last time that we went out there
Cool.
weeks ago. We got to have In and Out, which was great.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so cool. So, Jack, this is a segment we like to call Snack to the Future. All right. So let me know in the audience if you guys remember these. Does anybody remember these? These were popular in the 90s. Do you remember these, Jack?
I don't remember these. I'm a big 80s, 90s guy. How
I
come I
hear
don't
you.
know this?
I hear you. Yeah. So with this one, this was like the way you got your multivitamins in a fun way. It was a thick shake, and you shake it up, and you get all your vitamins in one thing. I used to like it. It had a decent taste. I don't know if it really worked, but it had a decent taste. Chocolate was their most popular one. How many of you remember this? Come on, I know everybody does, right? I can almost still taste it. It's crazy.
Right now.
Hamburger Helper. I wonder if they're still around. Nuts. All right. And how about this? One of my favorites when I was a kid growing up. I used to love their beef stew, those big chunks of potato in there. Yeah, back in the day. All right. So that's our snack to the future. Let's check out the comments. We have a lot of people here. A lot of people. We're talking Brazil is in the house. GR Houston Jack is in the house. She says, Tennessee is beautiful, especially in the mountains. Wow. Wow. She's cracking up. Kimmy Kim is in the house. Hello, Kimmy Kim. GR says, the Nashville hot chicken is great. Gus's fried chicken is amazing. What do you know about that, Jack?
I have no idea. I was just about to say, you got to ask her, where is this?
Okay,
Where's
yeah.
this place?
Give us the scoops, GR. Give us the scoop. You done started something now. All right. So she says hello to Kimmy. All the love going back and forth. Love a good foodie war. Okay, a lot of love there. What is that? What is what, GR? What is what? Kimmy says, no, I don't. Yes, Jamaicans drink this, Nina says. Okay. All right. Of Salt and Silence says, how did that pass for vitamins? I hear you. Probably was full of sugar. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Oh, yeah. Hamburger helper. Yep. And then people would get a little fancy with it and put their own twist on it. So Kimmy says, absolutely. Never had hamburger helper. Really, Nina? That's interesting. All right. Well, it was very popular back in the especially 80s. I'm not sure if it was before. Salt and Silence says, I love hamburger helper. Wow. So Jack, before YouTube, before the Pooter, before television, who was Jack Vale?
Wow. Before YouTube, I feel like YouTube almost reinvented who I was, who I am in a way. That's kind of nobody's ever asked me that really. What I did for a living, for sure. You know, I've gotten that question before, but who was? I would say that I'm just a guy that had every job that you could imagine until I started uploading videos to YouTube. I mean, I had specifically we were in the memorabilia business,
Mm.
and so we had like different, you know, we had like online like eBay and that kind of stuff, you know. So we were always I was always kind of an entrepreneur at heart. I never really wanted to. That's why the job thing didn't work out
Yeah.
a lot of times. But I mean, I did everything, man. You know, I sold pizza, delivered pizza, all this stuff, you know, from back when I was a kid, and sold car insurance. I mean, I've done a
What?
lot of stuff,
Wow.
but I always I grew up in kind of an interesting environment. And my stepdad was always very much into fart humor,
Yeah.
so that had a huge impact on me. And so I think when, you know, by the time YouTube rolled around, YouTube started, I think, in 2005, and I started my account 2 years after that. So I was right there at the beginning.
Wow.
And yeah, it was like a dream come true when I realized I started figuring out, you know, I could make money doing stuff like this. It was
Yeah.
just ridiculous to me because I always have been kind of not really I wasn't really the class clown necessarily, but I always have really enjoyed making people laugh.
Hmm.
There's nothing like that feeling you're telling a
Yes.
story or something like that, you
Hmm.
know, and the whole room just starts
Yep.
cracking up. It might even be 4 or 5 people, and you
Wow.
just kinda go, "Oh, you know, it's addicting," you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Where did you get your sense of humor from?
I think probably, um, I think God gave it to me, really. But, you know, my stepdad, um, was really this way. It's a funny thing too because I didn't have, like, an intact, you know, family. My, didn't know my biological father, so by the time my mom married this guy, you know, I was, like, 5 or 6 or something, I guess, and, they were only married technically for, like, I mean, after the first year, they separated, and then they got back
Oh.
together, and they separated again, and pretty soon they got divorced. So it was
Oh.
this whole weird thing, but the guy was unbelievable. My mom was great too, they just couldn't get along, and so
Mm.
I think that, I remember being a kid and these trips that he would take me to Walmart. Yes, it's been around that long. Um, he would fart in the aisle for real and just laugh about it with me by his side. And as a kid, you think it's hilarious, but you're also like a little embarrassed because it's a
Yeah.
real, you know, it's the real deal.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where it came from because I've always had a real strong um, I've always really had a heart for the Lord too, for a heart for God too. I've always been a Christian
Mm.
ever since I could remember, and he knew how to kind of also be that, but have a sense of humor. So I
Wow.
think the balance of that
Yeah.
really helped me and realize that things can be funny and you can laugh about them and you can still
Yeah.
be a Christian, you know?
Yeah. Of course.
And so, yeah, I think a lot of it probably came from him. And then you know, my brothers, who are all older than me, my brothers and I have got 3 brothers and 1 sister. They're all a lot older than me.
You
So
got
I
a
was
big
kind of grew
family.
up
You have a
by
big
myself.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've all, you know, they're all kind of funny, but there's a couple of them that I definitely, I think I got most of my sense of humor from.
Wow. Which comedians influenced you? Who are your favorites?
You know, Leslie Nielsen's a big one for me.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, comedic actor. Yeah, immediately you're thinking of the fart stuff. You know,
Yeah.
Leslie was great.
He was.
But
Yeah.
you know, the thing that I loved about him was the same thing that I really liked about Steve Martin, watching Steve
Yeah.
Martin, because
Yes.
the deadpan, you know, the ability to not laugh in a funny situation. It doesn't always work out that way, but but they were so good at it. Like, Leslie in a scene of a movie or something, something funny would happen around him, like in the background, like Naked Gun or something, a movie like that. And you'd laugh, but you weren't really laughing at what happened in the background. You're laughing because he didn't know it happened. And I thought that was so funny. And Steve Martin, the Pink Panther, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that had a tremendous impact on me. And then, guys like Don Knotts, I thought was just brilliant.
God, yes, Mr. Furley.
Oh, Mr. Furley and Barney Fife, everything that he did was so funny.
Legend.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yeah. I've been to Don's grave in LA because I wanted to just, funny thing, since I mentioned Don, I wanted to meet him. I wanted to meet him so bad.
Yeah.
And I knew that I heard that his eyesight was getting kind of, and stuff. And I had just, I was visiting Los Angeles, and I found out where he lived. I don't know if I've ever said this in an interview before, but I found out where he lived because back in those days, there were all these collectible shops in Hollywood. And there was this one in particular collectible shop on Hollywood Boulevard. And you could buy a book, and it came in it looked like a script or a manuscript or something with like little pins in it, and you could flip through it. And this book, it was updated every few months. And in this book, all it was a listing of every celebrity that you could imagine, right? With an address next to it. And the little known secret, the idea there was to write to them and they would send you an autograph or something in the mail, which I did that too. But sometimes you get lucky and you'd see like an address that just kind of looked like a home address. And that his address happened to be in this book. So you could take your own little tour. You could drive around Hollywood and be like, oh, Burt Reynolds lives there, or, whatever. Yeah. And so I saw that Don Knotts lived on Beverly Glen Boulevard. And I happened to know, because I was in the area all the time. So I was like, I think that's an apartment building, So, and sometimes it's a manager or, whatever. So I get out of the car, park there. I get out of the car. And while I'm at the collectible shop, I buy a couple of 8x10s, Barney Fife, and a Sharpie. And so I get out and I go out to the address, and there's like a kind of a display box there. And with everybody's name, you remember those little name tags that you would print with the gun? Oh my
gosh, yeah.
That's what it was. And on there was D. Knotts, and I couldn't believe it.
OMG. Wow.
So you better believe I pushed that button.
Yeah.
So I pushed the button. I wait a minute. Hello.
Oh my gosh. No.
Knew immediately.
Oh gosh.
And I just said, hey, Don, listen, I'm just a really big fan. Came all the way here just to say hi. Really appreciate your humor. And, a total geek I was. And there was a little moment of a pause. And then all of a sudden he goes, well, I'll be down in a minute. And I went, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I waited there with my, two dumb photos and my pen, and he comes down the stairs. He opens the door, stands there by the thing with me in front of the front door. And he had those big, like green, those old man glasses, right? Those plastic big green glasses. And it was such a cool moment. He was so nice. He talked to me for a while. It was terrific. And I was real young too. So it wasn't like, it was a very non-threatening kind of, he was comfortable. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
And it was just a really, really good time. But I walked away from it with these autographed photos going, I just can't believe that happened. And I also immediately gained the perspective, like, if you don't try, if you don't ask, if you don't,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
you might think, no, I don't want to, I don't want to. Then
Yes.
it's never going to happen.
Right. Right.
So what the heck?
Wow. Where are they now? Do you still have them?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. I still got them.
Wow.
I still got
You
the
know-
picture. I took a picture, like this it was a disposable camera that I had,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Jack, that is super, super cool. I am a huge fan of Don Knotts and his work.
No way.
Yes. Oh, we still watch Three's Company like almost every day.
Yeah.
I kid you not.
Yeah.
Lord is my witness. I love Don Knotts. So check this out. So you remember the Honeymooners?
Of course, seen them all.
Oh my goodness. That's one of my favorites. So just
Dude.
like you wanted to meet Don Knotts, I wanted to meet somebody from that crew. And I wish I would have got her just a little bit sooner. But Joyce Randolph was the last one alive. She passed away just a few years ago. And she passed away as soon as I found out where to get a hold of her.
Okay. If you could have if somebody gave you a choice to meet Jackie Gleason or Art Carney, which one would you have wanted to meet?
That's not fair, man.
Nah,
that's like telling me I'll give you an answer. That's like telling me who was the best landlord, Mr. Roper or Mr. Furley.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You can't. It's impossible.
I know. So you're doing that to me now. Okay, hold on.
I know.
You know what? Man, that's a toughie.
I have an answer.
Jackie Gleason, the great one, I would have to go with him, man.
Who?
But that's a toughie.
Who?
Jackie Gleason.
Got it. I would have said Art Carney. So there you go.
Wow.
Why
is that?
Huh?
Why is that?
Well, his comedic sensibilities were unbelievable. Now, the same thing could be said for Jackie, obviously, but Art was so animated.
Yeah.
And so good at when those with the hat and everything, like all the body movements that he made. He was so good at the timing, the comedic timing, I felt like,
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite Honeymooners episode?
You're telling that's not fair.
Yeah. Well, there's only 30, so
there's like 39, I think.
Right. And plus the other ones that they made.
The lost ones. Yeah, all the other ones. I don't think I'm gonna.
There's so many, right?
I just don't think that I'm gonna be able to give you an answer.
When they got drunk with the fake grape juice.
Oh man.
Yeah, there were so many. The one where he got into the fight with the guy, the boxing. Yeah, there was just so many. I love it. I love to laugh, Jack. That's what happened?
I do too.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. You started putting videos on YouTube back in 2007, correct?
I think so. I think I deleted the first few videos that I made. Okay. So if you go back through, you'll probably see that the first Pooter videos were in 2008, but I created my account in 2007.
Yeah. All right. We're going to get to the Pooter for sure. We have to. But what made you decide to start YouTube? What happened?
Well, so I had a YouTube. Actually, the truth is, I don't think I've ever said this. My answer to that normally is, the question is more along the lines of like how like my first videos on YouTube had to do with the Pooter. And so I marketed the Pooter and blah, blah, blah. But actually, the truth is, in 2007, when I started my account, the very first videos I ever uploaded were 2 Heinz ketchup commercials, which is so weird. There was a contest, and to enter the contest, you had to make your best version of like a Heinz ketchup commercial. You had to have your own idea. That was the very first video that I ever actually uploaded, and I uploaded 2 of them. I had 2 ideas, and so I made 2 commercials. One was a Heinz ketchup commercial that I wrote, and me and the kids are sitting around the corner playing the guitar. Like we're like, we created this song, and it's adorable and cute, and and then the other one was a little bit more dark, but it also was a Heinz ketchup commercial. I didn't win either one. But those were one-offs, and those were just kind of like, hey, I have a YouTube channel I created, so I'm going to make these, commercials and enter this contest. After that, almost right away, we lived in Northern California, and there was this guy named Dwayne. He was a homeless guy, and he caught my attention one day because he was riding uphill in 110-degree weather on his bicycle, and he had like 7 jackets on and like all of his belongings together. And I'm like, dude, the guy's just sweating profusely. And I was so curious about this guy's story. So I met him, introduced myself, and we really became friends. And I said, listen, I'm kind of fascinated by your story and stuff, because by then he had talked to me about a lot of stuff. And I said, would you let me follow you around and film your everyday stuff, and I'll take you to lunch and buy you clothes and stuff like that. So we did that for a while, and I uploaded probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10 videos with this guy. It was just fascinating. It's totally random. Those were the first videos that I actually uploaded to YouTube, and then I took a break for a little while, and my first comedy videos started after that in 2008.
Wow. Amazing. There's so many comments here. We have Tuna Helper. Gosh, the 80s. Yep. Tuna Helper. That's a blast from the past. It is. With the memorabilia, any WWE stuff. Are you asking something, Salt of Silence? So let me know specifically what you're asking. I'll be glad to.
Oh, I know what she's asking, what they're asking.
Go ahead.
So sometimes, yes, I think they're asking about, because I said I was in the memorabilia business before YouTube.
Got it. Okay.
That might be it. So the WWE stuff, I didn't know a ton about. Everybody knows the big names, but
yeah.
But yeah, every once in a while we would have something like that. And we used to go around years and years ago and go to like celebrity events and stuff and get autographs and stuff too. So you never knew who you're going to meet there.
Wow. So cool. Yes, YouTube starting in 2005. You're right. Jack is so funny. He is. I love this. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine.
Love
it. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Love it. What do we have here? That's missing in church today. God loves laughter. Yes. I don't think there's anybody funnier than God himself. Hey, all, says Dr. Tashi is in the house. Hello, Dr. Tashi. Nice to see you here. Hello, she says. Oh, boy. Yeah, let's not talk about that one. Steve Martin in the Leap of Faith. Yeah. I know. All right. Holy Snicky, she says. All right. We have, that's so cool that he answered the door. I'm telling you, Jack, thanks for sharing that story. That was worth the whole thing right there. That's one hell of a story, man. Wow, what a legend. How amazing, says Dr. Tashi. Yeah, I agree. Kimmy says, wow, that's so cool. Yep. What a story, says Dr. Tashi. Yeah. I loved the fish movie of his. I loved that fish movie of his. Oh, with Don Knotts you're talking about. Wow.
Mr. Limpet.
Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah. Don Knotts was fantastic. He was. Art's hand movements when he was writing. Yeah. He would take his time, and Jackie Gleason, come on. Bang, zoom. Oh my God, I love that show. My aching back. That was a good one. Remember that one, Jack? When he tried to, he was supposed to go and eat with Alice's mom, and he was trying to lie about it so he could go bowling, but jacked up his back. Oh my God.
Great.
That's just brilliant. If you guys never watched The Honeymooners, do yourself a favor. There's no way you can watch that and not crack up. It was so good, and clean comedy too. All right. So I'm sorry, what was that? All right. Where Ralph goes bowling and Alice finds out. Yeah, the one, with the back. Yep. Tuna Helper, yuck. I hear you, Dr. Tashi. Something. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the name of the movie. Okay, so he got it right. Of course he did. All right. So Jack, what is it? For me, if when I see people laughing at, okay, there's no way to have any decorum with this, but farting, flatulence, whatever, gas, whatever, breaking wind. What is it when I see somebody that can laugh about something like that? I probably can hang out with somebody like that, but I probably am not going to hang out with somebody who can't even laugh about something like that. And so let me ask you this: what is it? I don't even know how to ask this because it's so weird. But so, what is it about farting that is fascinating and so funny to us?
I think
Oh my goodness!
I think it's the fact that nobody ever knows. It's not generally announced. So if it happens, it's so unexpected. It's not like if you think about it, everything else that we do happens all the time. A sneeze, a cough, clearing our throat, things that we just we experience, you know, the movements and all kinds of stuff. And so that's the embarrassing thing that we try to keep inside.
Mm.
So it's almost like when it happens, you know, it was a mistake. It was some horrible, you know, accident. And the other thing is, you know, you never know what it's going to sound like.
Yeah, yeah. There's
So
different kinds.
it is. I think if everyone's being honest about it, we can all collectively agree it's funny.
Yeah.
So even, you know, once in a while I'll do a video in a store, it'll tick somebody off and make somebody mad or something like that. Not usually, but every once in a while it happens. Somebody could be having a bad day or whatever.
Yeah.
But the same person could experience have probably experienced it at some point in their life and they cracked up about it. So, you know, it's really an interesting dynamic. I will tell you this too. I went to Haiti once.
Wow.
With a company called Compassion International, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
we met all these kids, and I brought a couple of backpacks full of Pooters.
Oh,
And I got to tell you, me and those kids bonded.
wow.
It was the thing that, you know, I couldn't understand most of them.
Yeah.
So you have to communicate. And it was this thing that, like, you do it, they just laugh. They just immediately smile.
Mhm.
And then you get to teach them how to do it. So they have it in their hand and they do one, you know, and the other kids are cracking up laughing. It's a universal language. I really think that's what it is, because it's the one thing that it doesn't matter where you're from.
Yeah.
We get it. We all do it. It sounds the same. We know what it is.
Yeah. I just saw a funny comment. Oh my goodness. The delicate art of passing air. I like it. That's a more delicate way of literally putting it.
The art of the fart.
The art of, I like that one. Hey, might have a book there, Jack.
Mm.
All right. A quick walk when someone comes to the aisle, you thought you were alone. Oh my goodness. So, Jack, what do you say to people who get, first of all, it probably is a respect thing that people get upset because they don't want to smell what's inside of your body. So how does it make you feel when you see people get, because I've seen some stuff on your show. First of all, Jack, I've been watching you for probably since you began, like a long time. I go back to the HLN days when you had your show on HLN. And I remember, wait a minute, check this out. This is how much I remember. It's just coming back to me now. That you did something, a prank where you were in a cop car and you had the window slightly open and you were telling people that were passing by, the cops were not in the car, and you were telling people that were passing by, hey, open the door for me, open the door for me. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was specifically for our show, for our reality show.
Yeah.
Dude, that was fun. That was a blast.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But where did the Pooter come from? What? How did that actually happen? Like, what clicked?
Well, I've always thought that I've always been kind of a fart humor guy. I always knew that they were funny. I've owned several whoopee cushions. one day I was in a little magic shop in Hollywood when I was visiting, and it was like a magic gag gift shop, you know, kind of a place. And they had something very similar. Don't remember what it was called, but I bought a couple of them. I loved it. I used it constantly, and by the time I wore it out, the company had vanished, disappeared. So I couldn't buy any more, and I was bummed about it. And my buddy Tom was like, you know, you could probably just make these and sell these yourself. So I'm like, that's a really good idea. Because by this time I had called every shop. I was looking for this product like crazy. I just wanted one because mine broke. And that's actually how it started. So I got an attorney and to research, like, you know, trademark stuff and patent stuff and all that stuff, and found out that the patent on the product that I was using had expired like several years prior.
Wow.
And so when that happens, because patents are only good for, I think it's 15 years or something like that. And once that goes over, now it opens it up to the free market where people can kind of say, okay, my turn, you know, or whatever. And I thought, I looked at the weaknesses of the prior product and I went, I think mine could, I got an idea, you know? So I redesigned mine, hired a designer for it to make sure that the air was, the air was airtight. And then I called every shop in the country and I'm like, well, this is going to be easy because you can't find them anymore. So when I show up, everybody's going to buy mine, you know? And, but it wasn't so easy. I called every place that I could think of and found out real quick that these shops deal with, you know, one company that has like 500 products, you know, and then another company that has 700 products. And
Wow.
so to get a deal going with them was going to be really a challenge. And then one day I started, after all the trial and error stuff, where I found my factory, I was getting them made. I just went, you know, I use this thing all the time. I mean, I took it with me everywhere I went. My keys, my wallet, my Pooter, those were my necessities. And so I thought if I could capture these reactions, kind of like they did in the old days, you know,
Yeah.
candid camera and shows like that, that was really my idea for it. So the purpose of uploading these videos in the first place to YouTube wasn't to necessarily start a career. It was to sell more of this product, you know, of the Pooter, and get it known. And that's how that started.
Yeah. Wow. So did you ever imagine that a little fart machine would be associated with your name?
No. I mean, I definitely never imagined it. No, for sure. I was supposed to be a serious actor, you know. I I moved to Los Angeles when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I say kid, I mean, I was in my early 20s, but I moved to LA to pursue an acting career. I worked on a movie with Tobey Maguire and Reese Witherspoon, and then I met Leonardo DiCaprio, and we all became friends, and it was this whole thing. And then people started going, hey, you know, your hair and everything, you kind of look like Leo a little bit, you know? So I was like, I'm going to be I'm going to like be in movies. And so, yeah, so it was really weird, man. But also I think way later in life, I just kind of became aware that back then it was all about, what do I want to do with my life? Have no idea. I have no idea the faith element in your life. And so, but I will say for me, I reached a point in my life where I stopped being so concerned about what I wanted to do and more concerned about the person that God wanted me to be. And this is what he had in store for me, at least for the time being. And it was great because I got so much enjoyment out of making people laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Fungus Warrior. Hi there. Hey, good to have you, man. Appreciate you. So Jack, what is the funniest Pooter reaction you've ever captured?
Okay. I can't tell you what video it's in, but in my opinion, there's a lot of very unique things that happen, but in my opinion, there's a laugh there's a laugh that happened. There's several, actually. This is not easy.
Mhm.
There's a laugh that happened. I repost the video often, so you'll probably see it on Facebook. But there were these two guys, these two black guys, and they were buddies. And I did it. And it was so great because both of them, it created this awkward silence. So they were talking and everything was great and everything. They were laughing a little bit, whatever. They heard the fart. They got silent. They stopped. They looked at me. And both of them at the same time just busted out laughing. And it was the greatest laugh.
Oh man.
I'm a comedic timing guy.
Mhm.
So when this happened, if anybody could find, I don't know what video it's in because every time I repost it, I find it in my phone as like in my camera roll. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
going to post this again,
Yeah.
but I don't know which actual video it's in on YouTube, but it's out there somewhere. That's probably my favorite. But anything with a good laugh where somebody just has that, that quality is funny to
Yeah.
me.
Oh man. So is there a reaction that went completely wrong?
Yes. In 2011, I posted a video of me getting punched in the face
Oh
in
my
Target.
goodness. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember.
And I hate I don't like it. I'm not a fan of those kind of reactions.
Yeah.
But also when it happened, I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna go viral. This is gonna be a good video.
Might as well make something of it. Yeah.
Yeah, get a lot of views. But yeah, it was a wild thing. And I don't remember if I said this either, but it was great because the guy got up out of one of those motorized carts. Do you remember that?
What?
And he was shopping like this, and his wife was shopping like this, and I was too close to her apparently, and he didn't like that, so he's searching for me in the store. Finally, he finds me, and I show him. I say, "Wait, Candid
Right.
Camera?
Oh, yeah.
This is
Okay.
one of those things." And he wasn't
Wow.
going to hear it, and so
Yeah.
he just goes, "Yeah," and then he goes
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
grazed
man.
me,
Oh
and then
man.
he got it again, and he hit me
Oh.
a second time, and then
Wow.
Target got involved because it was a big commotion.
Yeah.
And they were like, we got to call the police. And it turned into this big thing. And I really didn't want it to, but
What kind of phone call is that? Man had a fart machine and I punched him. What kind of phone call to the cops is that? Did they show up? Did
it
they?
had to have been, the dispatcher had to have been entertained by this,
Oh
having
my
to
goodness.
call a couple of guys out. Yeah, actually, the cops showed up. And I was so nervous about the whole thing. By that time, I had told Target what it was. I literally showed it to them.
Yeah.
And I knew the police were on their way. And so I wanted to be right there at the door when they showed up. So I went straight to the front of the store where the cops would show up. And I see the police car pulls up finally, and here I am. And I've got the Pooter in my hand. I'm ready to tell them what happened.
Yeah.
And two guys walk in, one real tall, lanky guy, and walks in the door. And as soon as he sees me, his demeanor just changes, and he goes, "You can put that away, Jack. We know who you are." And then I thought later, I wonder what that dispatch call, if I could get a copy of that. Now it's probably too late, but if I get a copy of that call, wouldn't that be great?
Yes. That would be absolutely brilliant. Jack, how did you decide how do you decide where the line is between funny and hurting somebody?
That's a pretty easy question to answer. I think I just don't like to make other people necessarily the spectacle. It happens sometimes. People are wearing certain clothing or whatever, but I think I always like to be the butt of the joke. I want to be the idiot. I want to be the person people laugh at and they go,
Yeah.
"That's funny. He looks like a moron."
Oh.
So to me, that's what it's all about. I just want to make people laugh in a way that is not mean spirited. I don't want anybody to ever think that I went over the line.
Yeah.
That's probably happened a couple of times. And so I don't want that. So I try to keep everything family and all that.
Right. Yeah, you do. All right. So who responds the best, adults or kids?
It depends. Kids is the obvious answer. Kids are unfiltered and immediately react.
Yeah.
Adults have the ability to be shocked on the inside but cover it up on the outside. Kids don't have that.
Hmm.
So I would say the easy answer to that is kids.
Yeah, yeah. So Jack, the hour is over. Do you have a little more time? It's okay if you don't. Maybe we could do this
I
part
got
two.
about another 10 to 15 minutes if you want.
All right, let's wrap this up then. All right. So your YouTube success eventually led to television. What was it like going from making videos yourself to working in television?
It was incredible because I grew up watching like I said, Candid Camera, another TV show, Bloopers and Practical Jokes
Right.
was a big show back in the day. One day, a production company called me and said they emailed me first and said, "We're bringing Bloopers and Practical Jokes back to television. You got it, unbelievable." So they told me who was hosting and they wanted me to produce 40 episodes of this first season of this show with Dick Clark Productions, and I knew right away, Dick Clark Productions. You got to be
Yeah.
kidding me.
Mhm.
So I was super stoked about it. It was great. It was an honor. It was stressful. It was really, really fun.
Yeah.
They had seen my YouTube stuff, and by then I had done a lot of YouTube stuff, and so going to it was really, really different
Yeah.
because it was always me and a camera, or me and my Uncle John and a camera, or one of the kids or my wife. And very simple. We control everything. We got a camera, we do our thing, and that's it. But the TV world it was weird. I mean, even we had a small crew. I think we had about 8 people
Wow.
out on the street doing pranks together and stuff, filming different angles and everything.
Right.
But 8 people to me was like, there may have been 30 people out there,
Wow.
So it was great. It felt really good to be a part of like a family brand and all of that. And then we experienced it again a couple years after that. We did our reality show and that was super fun. And the whole family got to be involved in that. That's about the ages that we were. That looks like it was taken right about the time that the show happened, I think, actually. Good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice
All
work,
right.
dude.
Yeah, thank you. So, Jack, oh man, here we go. We got to talk about Carman, man. Oh, I'm trying not to get emotional with this part because, he meant a lot to me.
Wow.
I got to see him several times. I knew his previous pastor who passed away, a good friend, and we had many conversations together. Many people remember Carlton Pearson, who was Carman's pastor at one time. So yeah, it was sad to see him pass away. And but yeah, so I knew Carman's pastor, and I never got to meet Carman, but I did go to several of his concerts, like a lot of them. And I'll never forget the one at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York. 17,000 people. This man packed arenas throughout the United States. So this is Carman, for those of you who don't know. Oh, he was so handsome. Look at him. Oh my goodness. So there's Carman. That's some more of his work. And this one was this one was good. Man. So what made Carman? Oh, we have a few minutes. Okay. So what made Carman unique? And tell me about how did you get involved with what you're doing? You're making a movie about Carman. The trailer came out about 6 months ago. I saw it. I saw you on CBN. And tell us about how you got introduced to Carman, the impact that Carman had, and how you're doing on this movie. Give us all the scoops.
Okay. So we might need a little bit more time on this. Listen, if we're going to talk about Carman for a minute and you can do it, we can go a little bit longer. Okay.
Oh, Jack, I am here. I'm here as long as you want to be here, brother.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So Carman, this is a subject that, it's great to know, first of all, how you felt, and feel about Carman, what he stood for, what he did, his impact on music, his impact on the church, his impact on the world was bar none. It was so so great. It's hard to really even put it into words. So that's the first thing I want to say is Carman had a huge impact on my life growing up. Um, I was, I think 13 when I was first introduced to his music. It was "The Champion" was the song I heard for the first time, and that record was that's the movie. Um, so the record was kind of the first like rock, I guess. Some
Yeah,
rock
yeah,
songs were on
yeah,
that album, and before that, he had typically done a lot of like comedy, funny, lighthearted, and
yeah.
some worship stuff.
Mhm.
And so yeah, when I heard that album, I was like, I want to know more about him. So I went back to the Christian bookstore and I
Yeah,
bought the first 3 albums that came out, up to that point, and then I just loved it. I couldn't wait to go to a concert. So
right.
long story short, I ended up going to in 1988. I was 15, and I went to the Radically Saved tour in Sacramento, California, Capital Christian Center. And by this time, I was singing. Do you remember those accompaniment track? They called them accompaniment tracks. Today they say karaoke. And singers could buy these things from the Christian bookstore, and then they would have the background tracks to
Yes,
sing popular
yes.
Christian songs.
Oh my, yes.
I had to collect the whole collection of, whatever I could get from Carman. So I was a singer. So I would sing at my church these Carman songs. So as a teenager, um, I almost exclusively sang his stuff.
Wow.
So by the time I met him, there was this lady from our church, and she went with us on this this church youth group thing. And she ends up going through the line. I got my songbook. I got a piano songbook signed by him.
Wow.
So I went through but I was nervous. I didn't say nothing to him. And then I'm out of the line, and people are starting to leave, and this lady goes through the line, and her name was Nancy. She goes, "You see that kid over there? You mean everything to him." So after, and when it was time for him, to go. He starts to leave, and he snaps his fingers, and he goes, "Hey." And I'm over here with my group, my church, youth kids and stuff. And I turned and I looked, and he's looking right at me. And he goes, "Let's go." And I'm looking behind me. I'm like, who's he talking to? And then I realized he was talking to me. So I started to take a few steps, and I went over there. I jumped up on the stage with him that he was sitting on, and he goes, "Come on." And then he told like a couple of guys on his on the stage. He goes, "I'm going to be a few minutes," or something like that. Very, very Italian, by the way. And
Hmm.
that was remarkable to me, because I knew the minister of, I knew the minister Carman. I didn't get to quite know the Italian guy from
Yeah,
Jersey,
right,
Carman.
right.
And so listening to him talk was pretty remarkable. So I follow him down this corridor in this church, and he looks for a room and stuff like that. And so he ends up finding this room. He sits down. I sit down. I just pour out stuff to him, told him about my childhood and my, all
Yeah.
this stuff.
Hmm.
And this guy's just listening to me. And I sing your songs at church, and everybody says I'm like a mini Carman and blah. I was like the biggest nerd when it came to Carman stuff. And he listened. He prayed with me. I only remember about 30% maybe of what he actually told me, because I kept looking at this big clock over the door. I couldn't believe that this was happening. And as I'm like,
Yeah.
tick, 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 tick. I'm like, how long am I going to get to be in here?
Right. Yeah.
And so anyway, finally, we're just about to leave. And then I said, I just really think that God is going to make a way for us to work together somehow. 15-year-old kid. And I said
Yeah.
this, and I remember afterwards thinking, you stupid, stupid, stupid,
Yeah.
And, but he goes, who knows, maybe we will.
Yeah.
And I took that to heart.
Yeah.
So fast forward to I will tell you this. I made it back to my group, my youth group, and you know, Nancy and the youth leaders and whatever. And they were like freaking out, dude. They were like just waiting for stories, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so tell us. This one guy, Richard, tell us. And I just started bawling, just thinking about
Yeah.
it now. I get choked up.
Yeah, man.
It just had a huge impact on my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, Jack. I know, man. It hurt me so much when I found out that he was not feeling well. It really, man, what he did for the Christian church, what he did for music, just like my friend Ron Canoli, who passed away not too long ago. I've worked with him several times. Him and Ron were
Ron
legendary.
Canoli. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Ron Canoli passed away?
Yeah, my buddy. Yep.
He was your friend. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. When did
Yeah.
he go?
This year, earlier this year.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I found this out just a few months ago. Maybe a few weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, we worked together several times. But
Wow.
yeah, with Carman, Ron Canoli was one of the first people to sing about spiritual warfare. But Carman was one of the first to make it a theatrical thing. He was one of the first Christian singers to make Christian music fun, theatric, and he brought so many youth to the Lord through his
Yeah.
music. So
Yeah.
where's the movie at now? How are you doing, Jack? How's everything going with the movie? I know you got the great Carman, the guy who's playing Carman. Wow, that must have been a miracle. Jack, that was a miracle. I got to hear the story,
Yeah.
man. If you got time, whatever you got time
Yeah.
for.
So
I'm here.
let me tell you, it's worth taking a little extra time here.
Yeah.
So because everything I just told you has nothing to do with the movie. It goes way, way back, you know. So in 2020, I went to a Carman concert. So not that long ago, you know, and I was somebody told me about it, and so I went, and it looked like Carman, sounded like Carman. It was like being a kid again, you know, at this thing. Smaller church. I think there was about 200 people, 250 people at this church.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. The manager, I think, or the road, not really the manager, but the road manager, the guy that traveled with him, noticed me. I had already taken a couple of pictures with people who were there, some people saw me there, and I was getting pictures with them.
Yeah.
Then this guy noticed it, and he came over, and he was like surprised that I was there too. And I said, dude, I'm a Carman nut.
Yeah.
Like, he impacted my life so much. So through that, he goes, well, you got to meet him. You know, I got to introduce you and everything like that. I was on cloud nine. I couldn't believe it. The tour bus was out in the parking lot. And so I ended up at the end of the concert. I kind of scurried off to the bus with this guy and another guy. And Carman was kind of at the back of the bus with the door closed, like he had changed into another shirt or something. Then he comes out. We get introduced. I was secretly hoping, Carman, you know, what if he's a fan? What if he's seen my videos? You know, it wasn't true. Didn't happen. Not at all. And so, but a couple of the guys on his bus did, you know. And so we clicked, though. Carman and I talked about so much. I told him, of course, what happened to me when I was a kid. And we were on that bus for close to a couple hours. I mean, we really connected. And I started to get up and leave because it was time. And before I left, he had a guy on the bus named Joe. This guy, he got up. He goes, hey, Jack, before you leave, could I get a picture with you real quick? Well, that caught Carman's attention, I think, real quick. And so we do the picture. And Carman goes, "Hey, Jack, you got my number?" And I went, I was about to answer, and his road manager like jumped in and said, "Yeah, I got it. I got to take care of it. I'll get it. Yeah." And he goes, "No, no, no, come here." So I
Yeah.
walked over to him. He ripped off a piece of his Wendy's food bag, from the
Yeah.
sandwich, chicken sandwich
Mm.
that he had. And he wrote his number down on it with a black Sharpie, and he handed it to me.
Wow.
By the next day, he had started to text me. And I remember that night we went straight to the Waffle House as we left. And I texted him simply Jack Vale.
Yeah.
Did he remember? So so by the next day, he was texting me like all this information about his life, and I thought it was incredible because he was telling me about his mom and his brother and his like childhood photos he was sending me and stuff. And I was like, dude, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So within a couple of weeks, he had really opened up about a lot of stuff, and we started to continue our friendship. And finally, I called him one day and I go, "Man, somebody's got to do a movie about your life."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I've had people reach out to me before, and
Wow.
I just haven't really found the right guy, and they're just gonna mess it up. They're just gonna mess everything up." So I let it go. And about a week later, I couldn't stop. I looked through all my notes because I'd write down every time he told me a story or something. I would put it in my notes in my phone. And I called him one day and I go, "Carman, you got to do it. There's got to be a movie about your life story. Nobody knows this stuff. This is the most inspiring. This is an underdogs. You got to do something."
Yeah.
It took, I think it took a few weeks. Finally, he called me up and he goes, "Hey, Jack, I think you're the guy."
Wow.
And it was like, I couldn't wait to get off the phone with him, to get on the phone with my lawyer and say, let's go,
Yeah.
And so we connected our lawyers and they talked, and we had a life rights deal within probably a month.
Wow.
And then we just started meeting and talking, and it was hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And it was that anyway, that's how all this came to be. So when Carman passed away, it was very unexpected. Nobody saw it coming.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere. People think he died of cancer because they remembered that he had it.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He beat cancer.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what was going to happen. It was February 2021, and I just didn't know what was going to happen. It took a little while. Finally, I went, this is like the last. This is what he wanted. The last thing that he really wanted was for people to know his story. The thing that shook me to my core in my conversations with him was the fact that everything circled around and pointed back to Jesus.
Yeah.
So whatever story was in Carman's life, he wanted the whole thing to make sense.
Yeah.
So that by the end of the story, people realized what God could do through the most unlikely person.
Oh.
And I called my buddy who I knew would be great for this. And I said, "Christian, I want you to come out and I want you to help me write this script. I have everything right in front of me." Weeks before Carman passed away, he had just given me the last of everything that we needed for the script, which is crazy. And so he came out, we focused on it and got it all done. And we've been working on it ever since. I sometimes I have a tendency to say long story short, and then it's 2 days later.
Yeah. Take your time. It's up to you.
But I will tell you, it started to make sense after talking to distributors and studios and all of that stuff. It started to make sense to me that there was one company that made the most sense to partner with. Every time I got on Facebook, Angel Studios, Angel
Yeah.
Studios, Angel
Yeah.
Studios. And
Yeah.
when you get
Mhm.
on there, like, I mean, they are so good at marketing.
Yeah.
And they are so good at picking projects.
Yeah.
And my buddy who helped me write Carman, the two of us were co-writers together on it. Carman himself is credited as the story by credit because the whole thing came from him.
Wow.
But my buddy Christian Busaith, he is working on another movie right now, by the way, called Fablehaven, that Angel is putting out, I think, next year. And I think they're filming. I don't know if I can say that actually, but I think they're trying to film next year. But anyway, it's a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
He knew about Angel, had done, working dealings with them and stuff. And so it just kind of made a lot of sense to reach out because we discovered that Angel, the great thing about them was they weren't interested in changing anything. They weren't interested in getting creatively involved. They're kind of the guys who are okay with, if they like something and you pass the test, then they just let you go create. And I think that's one of the many reasons why they're so successful. As long as the story didn't have to be changed. I remember the conversation I had a long time ago with one of the first people that I called to tell this story to. Very well-known director, producer, Academy Award-winning guy. Was so fascinated by the story. He thought the story was great. Not a Christian, still just absolutely loved the story. And he told me, he goes, I loved it. Can you tell me more about the dirt?
Mm.
I'm like, I don't know if this is the guy for this project,
Mm-hmm.
Because the dirt that I found, between us, I don't think I've said this to anybody. The dirt, there is dirt, okay? There is some dirt,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the dirt that you would expect. It's not the
Right.
dirt regarding Carman. It's a little dirt surrounding,
Mm-hmm.
it's the environment
Yeah.
that he was in, that he sometimes didn't even know that he was in, so I'm here to tell you, Carman was he was the real
Yes.
deal. He really was. In real life, if you ever met him, sat down and talked to him, he was the real deal.
Did he charge for, I don't think he charged. I don't remember paying a ticket at any time.
No, he didn't.
And he packed arenas, Jack. He could have made millions and millions of dollars, but he said, no, and you show this in the movie.
We do show that in the movie. And Jimmy Bowen was a very well-known record producer back in the day. He produced Frank Sinatra, Rat Pack. He's golfed with those guys. This guy had so many number one hits. He's the guy who's actually responsible for Garth Brooks. Wow. Jimmy Bowen is the guy's name. He really took a liking to Carman. Wow. So Carman knew Jimmy Bowen, his work very, very well. And so Jimmy Bowen wanted to get into the Christian music industry because he saw the dollars, and that made a lot of sense to him. He's like, I got to get involved because Christian music is. And when he saw Carman, he's like, this is the guy. And Sam Chappell, Carman's friend and attorney at the time, told Jimmy, oh man, I just realized I'm telling you like a key part of the story in the movie.
Oh,
no, it's okay. It's also publicly known, so it's not a big deal. Okay. But so Sam Chappell told, he was trying to explain to Jimmy. Jimmy could not wrap his head around the fact that this guy could go to arenas in front of tens of thousands of people and not charge tickets. Yeah. So, and it was just like, this doesn't make any sense, to this guy. So, well, you got to just go to the concert. Sam said. So he goes, all right. So he made it happen, and they flew out at some big, concert, and Jimmy Bowen and Sam Chappell were there at this concert, and they watching Carman. And Jimmy told us we have a sit-down interview with him. He's still around. He's in his like mid-90s now. And Jimmy goes, I'm sitting there. His concert was so good. And then all of a sudden, everything, he knew how to captivate an audience to the point where I looked around and I saw these little trash cans getting passed around, and people were just putting money inside. And here's a guy who's never been exposed to this kind of stuff, And but he immediately goes, and then I got it. So he never expected Carman to change. So they ended up doing a deal, and Jimmy helped Carman really get to that next level where he did Texas Stadium. And Carman would try to talk to Jimmy and say, look, I'm doing what God wants me to do, and I just don't feel called to charge for admission. And in a lot of those cases, they would end up making more money sometimes from in the auditorium in the love offering,
right?
For just giving people the opportunity to give whatever they could. And if not,
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
And sometimes that wasn't the case. There were times where they couldn't make up what they needed for the costs, and Carman would go, I don't need to be paid.
Yeah.
That happened sometimes. So it was those stories that captivated me. And I knew people had to hear this story. And when he started talking about his brother and his mom and the Jersey life, and these guys, they grew up next to
stuff there.
Goodfellas. I mean, it's Goodfellas, and it's Rocky, and it's everything that you could imagine would be in a story like this. And his focus was truly on Jesus until the day he died. It really was. Not long before he died, he even made that statement. He says, I'm here for as long as there's lost people that God wants me to reach, I'm here. So.
Wow. So if you have time, what's the impact that you want people to walk out of the theaters? When people walk out of the theaters after watching Carman, what's the impact what are the results that you're looking for as far as impact?
I want people to, first of all, this is an opportunity for Carman's story and music to reach a brand new generation. I think that's really important, and this movie can do that. A lot of movies that take place in the 80s and 90s, are a little outdated or whatever. This is such a fresh story, and the world is ready for it. I think when people, they hear and see Carman's life on the screen, and they realize the impact that God can have on somebody, and that impact can now go and flow through you to impact the world. I think it's so inspiring that his whole story points to Jesus. So what I want to see happen from this is I want people to understand how passionate Carman was about this thing. And this thing really is God. This thing is Jesus and what Carman believed. And I want people leaving changed. I want pastors to host these theater screenings.
Yeah.
Let's do an altar call at the end. I want that to happen. I want to bring that back. One of the last things Carman said to me before he went into the hospital was, I was trying to explain all of that to him. I said, this is I think this is a good social climate for a story like this. And he goes, so you're kind of talking about using this project to revive the church. And I said, yeah, I really am. Giving people an opportunity to get saved is an obvious no-brainer. That's what Carman really wanted from this story.
Yes.
But reviving the church, there was an excitement in his voice when he was like, I think the church is we had some casual conversations about how some elements of the church it's different today than it was. And they've departed from some stuff that should have stayed. And I think he really wanted this story to impact a new generation so that we could bring more people and of all ages to the Lord. He always was a big fan of movies, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and stuff. So it kills me that he's not here. He's here, but I mean, not here to see this,
Yeah.
this finished film.
Hey, who knows? Maybe in heaven, God has a little movie theater, right? And
You
says,
know,
"Hey,
that's funny.
you got to check
Yeah,
this out."
yeah. Carmen's. So a friend of mine, also Carmen's nephew, Joey. He goes, one day he sent me a text message. He was at, I remember this. He was at Carmen's gravesite, and there were purple flower. Purple was Carmen's favorite color, like violet or something. And there were those laying there, and he goes, "Who knows? Maybe Carmen has already seen the movie."
Ooh, wow! I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that you went, "Ooh," because that's
Yeah.
kind of what I did. I thought it took me a minute, and then I went,
Yeah.
"Oh," like there's no concept of time.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
Yeah.
what does this all mean? What if that's an actual
That's
possibility? Yeah. So that hit me. That hit me really hard. I think about that a lot.
wow. So, Jack, when is it going to come out? Any
So
projection?
we project that in March or April, maybe even into May a little bit, that we'll be fully cameras up and producing the movie.
Okay.
Which would probably put us for kind of towards the end of the year release, maybe Thanksgiving or something like that.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Ooh, Jack. Wow. This is. I mean, we could have went on for so much longer. We just touched the surface of your faith and everything else. So, for now, Jack, thank you so much for being willing to be on the show. Thank you for being available, and thank you for sharing your heart. That I appreciate the most. Is you shared your heart. You're a beautiful person, and I pray in the name of Yeshua that God continues to use you. And I have a feeling that something big is going to happen with this movie, and bigger than what eye has not seen, ear has not heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man what God has prepared for those who love him. And Jack, God loves you, man. God loves you, and you know that. He loves you just as you are. He loves us all, and that's the message that I have for everybody watching. If you don't believe in God, that's fine. Eat the meat and throw out the bones. We love you too. So I'm just saying, for everybody out there, I want you to know that God loves you. Jack wants you to know God loves you. Carman wanted you to know that God loves you. Yes, you. But you don't know what I've done. You don't know. It doesn't matter. God knows, and he still loves you anyway. You are loved. You are special. You are important. You matter. You matter. Oh, but I'm struggling. That's okay. He's right there in that struggle. He loves you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. When everybody else abandons you, God is still there. He promised you, I will never leave you nor forsake you. He said, nothing can separate you from the love of God. Nothing. So God loves you, people. Jack, thank you so much for being here. Man, we got to connect again. And I definitely, listen, if you're welcome here anytime, when the movie comes out, before the movie, anything you got going on, please, we're here for you, man. The door is open, Jack. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much, Jack.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you later.
Woo! Wow. What a program. Salt and Silence says, thank you both for this show. Absolutely amazing. GR Houston Jack says, thanks for sharing, Jack. Kim gives the applause. And Lisa says, amen. Yeah. Oh, wow, and wow. So let me ask you guys while we'll just chill. It's just you and I, y'all chilling with Elias. So listen, so tell me your thoughts. What are your Salt and Silence says amazing? Have you guys ever heard of Carman? What's your favorite Carman song? And is this gonna maybe influence you or move you to check out some of Carmen's stuff. So let me tell you where to start, though. Hold on. Thank you for the show. Nina says, thank you for the show. And when the movie comes out, I'll be watching the episode right here. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nina, for being here. So appreciate you. Thank you. So yeah, there's so many places to start with Carman. Wow, what is one of my favorite Carman songs? Lazarus is really good. Lazarus is great. The Champion, wow, amazing. Our Great God, that's another one. Check out Carmen stuff. It is really, really funny. It's theatrical. It's a good way of presenting spiritual ideas and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. So how you guys doing tonight? Where are you guys watching me from? Anybody else? Nina was there was the lady that was from Brazil was in the house. That is crazy. Wow. Say right. Salt and Silence. Satan Bite the Dust. That's probably my favorite. Oh, you got to watch that one. That's a good place to start. So search Carman and then Satan Bite the Dust and watch the theatrical video for that. That'll motivate you and get you going. Yeah. Oh man. Wow, what a show. Okay, listen. So next week, Carolyn Nichols will be back. We're going to be talking all things health and nutrition. We're talking high blood pressure, sugar diabetes, arthritis, getting better sleep, inflammation. We're going to be talking about cancer and the latest outbreak of cyclospora. So Carolyn Nicole from all the way from Toronto, Canada is going to be here next week, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And remember, episode 4 is next week, 11 a.m. We're in a completely different state, and I'm really excited for that. So listen, guys, thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. I thank each and every one of you, and I mean that with all my heart. Thank you. I love connecting with you. I love talking to you guys, and you matter, and your voice matters, and we thank you so much, and talk to you guys soon.